Let's talk about mold poisoning, shall we? A year ago, I had no idea what mold poisoning was, never heard of it. I have never known anyone who'd struggled with it. This was a completely foreign concept to me. And here I am a year later, and it has completely taken over my life. It consumed my life, it changed my life for a minute there. I feel like it kind of ruined my life. And I feel like I owe it to myself in my healing journey to talk about this. I feel like I need to share this story, not only for myself because it's very therapeutic, but also for you guys. I've talked to so many people that think that they are struggling with mold poisoning. And honestly, it's so much more common than we think. So today I'm going to get into every single detail. Things that I noticed my body was telling me were wrong, the conversations I had to have with my doctor, the gaslighting that went on there, multiple tests that I had to do, really like the holistic journey I have been on. So we're going to dive into all of it. I'm going to share with you everything on how I diagnosed and have healed my mold poisoning. If you guys are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Courtney, and I'm so excited and so grateful that our paths crossed here on social media. I'm a holistic health coach and also YouTuber. I make content about how to help women fall in love with living a healthy, holistic lifestyle. That's kind of my vibe, is like natural glow ups, helping women get healthy through healthy, sustainable habits, shed fat, gain confidence. And I think because I'm so passionate about what I do with health and wellness, this hit so much harder because I felt like I was doing everything right. My workout routine didn't change, how I feed and fuel my body didn't change, and yet I was deteriorating every single day. It's honestly been really hard for me over the last year to have shown up on YouTube and social media in my business. I had no confidence. I had no energy. My body just could not do it. Like my skin had changed, my body had changed, my energy had changed, and I hid. But we're back and we're so grateful to be here on the other side of this healing journey. I feel like even me making this video is a cool milestone for me because I feel the need to make this video talking about my healing, which means I'm on the end of it. And that is such a good feeling. Quick disclaimer, obviously I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Please do not take this as medical advice. So a little quick backstory on myself and my story. I have been a pretty healthy, active person for like 15 years. I'm a health and wellness coach. I've been a fitness coach. I have my degree in exercise science. I really feel like I know how to properly take care of my body. And on the other side of that, I feel like I've been very grateful that I feel good most days. I wake up and I don't have allergies. I don't have skin issues. I don't have digestion issues, migraines, anything. I used to wake up and feel so clear. I'd wake up feeling confident, energized, ready to go. And all of a sudden that started to change. Started to feel sick in a way that I have never experienced before. And to be honest, that was kind of scary. So it was probably the end of last year, maybe middle of last year. So like middle of 2024, I started to notice some things that were very out of the norm for my body. At first, I started breaking out in these hives, these rashes, these little like skin irritation bumps. And it was probably happening like maybe once a month. And this would be like red patchy spots. Sometimes they would be like little burns, little red dots and like pimples and just total skin irritation. This was totally new for me. I had a little bit of acne growing up, but nothing like hives or any kind of rash like that. So all of a sudden I started to notice my arms would be broken out, my chest would be broken out, my face and my neck and my back and my legs were broken out in these red blotchy patches. And I was like, that's weird, but I had no idea where it was coming from. Then came the sinus issues. So I am someone who has never struggled with seasonal allergies, headaches, migraines. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful for that. My sister has struggled with migraines. My husband struggles with allergies. I know the struggle. And all of a sudden, I started developing really intense sinus pressure. It was kind of like a mask area right here, had so much pressure behind it. And I did not understand why. Like I was drinking a bunch of water. Nothing had changed in my routine, in my diet. I didn't introduce any new products. I was very, very I was in a very consistent routine. So I could assess like, okay, I haven't changed anything. What is going on? All of a sudden, these things started to pop up. I feel like I was having ocular migraines without the visuals that people say that they experience. So I was having like so much pain, so much pressure behind my eyes, and nothing I did would make it go away. No matter if I drank more water, if I slept, if I took Tylenol, if I tried putting on one of those cold cap things that are supposed to help with like headaches and things like that, nothing helped. That was honestly one of the worst symptoms that I had throughout this journey, was like really intense sinus pressure and pain in my eyes. And it only got worse with time. I noticed that I started to feel really fatigued, really low energy, no matter how much I slept. Again, I was sleeping between like 7 and 8 hours a night, and I would wake up feeling completely exhausted. I looked so sick and tired and just not well in my face. My eyes started to get really hollow. I started to have really bad sleeping issues. I started to wake up with the most random things. Like, started waking up with these really random joint pains, which was very new for me. I'm freshly 30. So, like, yes, I know that your body is changing at 30, but not in this way. I literally thought that I tore my rotator cuff without having any kind of injury or accident. And I would wake up and I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, why does my shoulder hurt so bad? Why does my left ankle hurt so bad? It was so random and weird. And I just, again, noted it and I was like, that's different. That's odd, but I don't really know where it's coming from. So I just kind of have to brush it under the rug for now. My skin had started to change. I was very gray in the face. There's something so off. Like, my skin is purple. Whatever's happening with my eyes, something is wrong and I need to figure it out. I was dealing with really deep, dark under eye circles and like hollowness under my eyes, which I feel like is still there. My concealer is doing a good job today. But my under eyes are extremely like fatigued. They are so black and purple from this. I feel like it just like sucked the life out of me. I also started to notice that my hair started to fall out. I have had really thin hair my entire life, but hair loss in ways that I have never experienced. My hair basically stopped growing. It started falling out. I got like really intense little patches right here where my hair was just not there. Like, it was completely bald right here. And I noticed, like, in the shower, I was shedding more. In my house, I was shedding more. And my hair felt so brittle. It was so broken. Every time I brushed it or put it up in a ponytail, I could hear it literally crack. Another symptom that made me start to get much more worried and take it a little bit more seriously was I noticed that the glands in my neck were getting really sore. And I honestly thought that it was like the big C word. I was like, oh, this is like, I could feel something in there. And my lymph nodes were incredibly inflamed. They were incredibly sensitive. They were so bad that if I tilted my head like this to the left, my eyes would start watering. Again, that's not normal. Like, I know that that's not normal. So all of a sudden, when these things kept popping up, the rashes, the headaches, the sleep issues, the joint pain, I was like, my body is absolutely trying to tell me something. I just don't know what it is. I also started to get really shaky hands. This is something I'm still dealing with a little bit. I think they're called tremors. That might not be applicable for mold poisoning. It might be for something else, but that like shaky feeling, even without coffee, even without anything that would cause me to be more anxious or like worked up, I was so shaky all the time. I also noticed that I was getting really dizzy really often. If I walked up a flight of stairs, I would hear my heartbeat in my ears for like a minute. I would go completely black with my vision. I would feel like I was going to pass out and I have to hold on to something, take a few deep breaths, sometimes put my feet above my head to let the blood rush back into my body. And I was like, what is going on? I also noticed I had bad ringing in the ears, which again, never experienced that. My body was absolutely screaming at me to listen. And I was really taking note. I was like, okay, this does not feel good. I don't feel good. This feels different. This feels off. Something is absolutely going on. I also started to have like digestive issues and weight gain in my hip area, which is such a random symptom. It's something I'm still dealing with, is this like random fat placement outside of my hips. I know it sounds crazy, but again, nothing has changed in my routine. Everything else in my body is the same, but right on the side of my hips is a little bit thicker than normal. And I think that that's from the mold poisoning. I noticed my digestive system wasn't working right. My dog just joined the party. She's up on the bed. So if you hear her, she's here with us. Yeah, a lot of digestive issues. I was waking up in the middle of the morning, like 5, 6 a.m., really having to go to the bathroom. Like, I could not wake up and get to the toilet fast enough, which I'm all about healthy digestion, but having to go so quickly and so consistently, I knew again, like something was wrong. My mood, my energy, my confidence, like everything was so low for me at this time. I felt like a walking zombie. Felt like my body really felt infected from the inside out. And it was a really scary feeling. I really feel like I was a shell of myself for that time. And I just absolutely hid. I realized that I needed to get it checked out and that somebody had to figure out what was wrong with me. So I went to my primary care doctor, and I love this doctor. I have no beef, no quarrels with him. And honestly, I don't know that I can go back after this. I brought to his attention all of these symptoms that I was dealing with: headaches, the sinus issues, the heart racing, the feeling faint, feeling dizzy. I told him about my hair falling out, about my glands, about my digestion. I explained my symptoms to him for like 5 minutes, and he was like, "Oh, it's nothing. You have low blood pressure. It's fine." And I'm like, yes, I have low blood pressure, but no, that's not what this is. Another thing that I wanted to add that I started to notice was vision changes. So I got those little black floaters in my vision, and I was getting a lot of double vision. So even if I was focusing on things, like my eyes would not focus on things the right way. So I shared that with my doctor, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that comes from low blood pressure. That's a symptom of that." So he basically ran one blood panel and said, "Oh, everything's good. All your numbers came back normal. It's just low blood pressure. You have nothing to worry about." I absolutely did not feel any relief when he told me that, but I was like, okay, like it says my labs are normal. Everything must be fine. It must just be exhaustion or stress or whatever. So I kind of went back to my normal day to day. And my symptoms got worse. I ended up taking myself to an ENT around here because I was like, someone else has to be able to like dissect me, look at me, and understand what's going on with me. I went to the ENT. He did one of those scopes up my nose. He said, "Yeah, you have some like haziness, some gray opaqueness up here. Like it's almost fuzzy and needs to be cleared out through that like balloon procedure," which he thinks I need. But he's like, "Besides that, I don't see anything like wrong." So I asked him if we could do a CT scan of my face to make sure that he didn't see anything else like that would be a concern, and he ordered it, luckily. And I have to fight that hard for that one. But the CT scan came back and it said everything was normal within my face. And I was like, great. Negative results are great, but also when you're trying to diagnose and figure out why your body is the way that it is, it's frustrating. It feels like no one is listening to you. It feels like you're making these symptoms up. I just felt so discouraged. So, like I said, my symptoms started getting worse and worse. They started becoming way more frequent. And this was honestly up until a few months ago. We went on a trip in April. And before we left for that trip, I was struggling with these symptoms almost every day, but definitely every other day. I was getting hives every other day. I had a migraine every other day. The day I left for this trip, my eyelids were completely burnt over by the rash I had just had. My eyes were swollen shut. They were peeling. It got so bad. My like I really honestly felt like my body was just withering away and, like I said, failing. So one day while I was in bed with one of these migraines, feeling sorry for myself and feeling like, oh my God, I'm dying and no one cares and no one's going to figure it out. And one day I'm just going to wake up here in my bed and I'll say from heaven, like, "I told you so. I knew something was going on." That's genuinely how I felt. So I did what any person would do in 2025, and I took to social media. I went on TikTok and I started to look up my symptoms, and I found this one doctor. He started talking about every single symptom that I had: the floaters in the vision, the dizziness, the heart racing, the skin irritation issues, the digestion issues, the joint pain, the fatigue, the mental stuff, the like the broken out skin, clogged pores, everything. He described what I was going through to a T. So I thought, you know what? I have literally nothing to lose. These people are not listening to me. No one seems to think that this is a concern. So I literally don't have anything to lose. Let's just set up a call with this guy. I was so confused because everything he said in his social media was about mold poisoning. And in my immediate vision, I didn't see any mold. So I was like, there's no way that this is mold, but can at least point me in the right direction. And between our bedroom, our bathroom, our kitchen, I didn't see any of it. So I thought, this is weird, but I'm at least willing to try and hear him out. So I reached out to this doctor. We set up our call. And on our first call, it was about 2 hours and like 4 minutes. I think I screenshotted it somewhere. He was the most thorough doctor, the most thorough person I have ever spoken to in my life. He went through every single aspect of my health, my daily routine, my job, my fitness routine, my hormones, how my energy felt, what my nutrition looked like. He looked at everything so holistically. He looked at everything as a whole. And I had never had that level of thoroughness. Like I had never had someone so comprehensive with my health. It just felt so good to have someone be like, "Oh wow, yeah, that is something I should take note to. Okay, yeah, that is something that's concerning." And he was really validating everything that I was saying. So after that 2-hour call, right before we hung up, he said, "I can't say this officially because we haven't tested for it, but it really does sound like mold poisoning. So I'm going to order 3 tests and we're going to get to the bottom of this right away." I hung up the phone and I immediately started crying. Like I remember where I was in my bedroom on this phone call with him, and it just felt like someone finally heard what I was saying and someone believed me and someone was willing to fight for my health and pay attention to it. And feeling like you were almost like crazy with these kind of ghost-like symptoms, that felt really good. It made me feel really hopeful, really optimistic, and excited to actually start healing instead of someone just saying, oh, it's nothing. You just have to get over it. Like, it's just something you have to get used to. It's totally normal. I knew it was not normal. And I'm so happy that I found this doctor. I advocated for myself and I said yes to ordering these tests. So the 3 tests were honestly the worst part of this entire, well, not worse than the actual symptoms, but they're close. Honestly, the tests were pretty brutal. You had to do a blood draw, a urine sample, and yes, the other one. Now, listen, I'm a holistic health coach. I'm all about digestion and TMI stuff, right? Like, our health is something to talk about. Poop is something we have to talk about. That is one of the worst things I've ever had to do, is submit a stool test. It is embarrassing. It's awful. Driving to FedEx with it, like, you want to actually die. But I was so desperate for results and for answers. I said, I don't care. Let's do this. So I waited probably like a week or two for those tests to come back, and then set up another call with my doctor, and he went over all 3 tests. We tested for parasites, which came back negative, which was great. We tested my food sensitivities, like my food allergies, which came back. And I had a few things that I was sensitive to. And then it was, the third one was the mold test. And that's where I lost it. I was absolutely speechless when he pulled up these docs with me. I'll put a image of it on the screen here, but basically it was a diagram that showed here, from here to here is like a normal range with mold, and from here to here is like a dangerous range where it's been detected in your system. My levels was all the way at the top, at the highest, almost the highest range that can be detected in your body. And he was like, yeah, so this means that you have active mold in your system, whether it's from where you live now, from where you were in the past. It's kind of hard to detect what caused the mold, because it could be from a previous house, it could be from here, it could be something along the way, like coffee beans have mold in them. I've learned certain cereals and things can harvest mold, and just like your bathroom, all these crazy things. But he said that now we at least know that it is confirmed mold in the body. And I just felt so relieved, so hopeful. I was so excited to jump into the next part, because that meant that I was going to start healing. That meant that I was going to turn the page, get into a new chapter, and really start to see some growth and some sort of results. Now, I love this doctor because everything that we talked about for healing was very holistic. It wasn't putting me on antibiotics, going in for a surgery that was just going to fix something and like put a band-aid over it right now. He was really doing a lot of deep, thorough work on healing from the inside out. So he created a very holistic, very thorough plan for me to do that, to heal. And I kind of like to think of it as like I'm frying the mold from the inside of my body, because it does take a minute for the mold to leave your body. It's taken me about 6 months to really start to feel like I've come back to myself through these supplements and these practices. But after 6 months of consistency, I feel like a new person, a new woman. My energy has changed. My body has changed. My symptoms are almost completely gone. Like I said, we went away for that trip in April. My symptoms were so bad before. They were pretty much every day, every other day. So we went away on our trip in April, and then we basically had someone come in. Before our trip, we actually had them come test for mold. They confirmed they found mold in the house, and then we were able to have someone come and remediate it. So by the time that we got back from this trip and the mold had been removed from the house, I have not had a skin rash since. I was breaking out with these rashes and these symptoms every other day before I left. Okay. It was all consuming. And when I came back, they almost completely stopped. I think that is such a testament to removing the source, which is one of the main things my doctor said I had to do, the supplements that I had stayed consistent with, and some of the holistic practices. So I'm not going to get into the exact supplements I took, because I think that's more for a doctor to tell you. I'm not going to prescribe you what supplements and what things you should be doing, but I will tell you some of the holistic things that I've incorporated that have really made a big difference for me. So I think the first thing was changing how I was working out. I stopped lifting a lot of weights and doing a lot more mindful body weight Pilates style moves. My body was just so stressed out with what was going on. It couldn't handle anything more. So we really kind of toned it back and focused on mindful, consistent movement over really heavy, intense exercise. Again, I incorporated all of those supplements. They are the worst supplements. They taste awful. They're horrible, but I feel like they really did, again, kind of like fry the mold out of my body. Another thing I was doing was dry brushing, saunas, and red light therapy. Those are 3 holistic things that you can do that you don't need a doctor to tell you to do. You don't need any kind of prescription. You can buy a red light therapy on Amazon. I'll link the one that I've been using in the description. I have a whole folder on Amazon for things that I've been using to heal. I really feel like these holistic measures have given me such relief. I thought these practices used to be so woo-woo, so hippie-like, oh, a red light therapy, that can't actually do anything. Girl, it has changed my life. It has changed my skin, my energy, my liver, my metabolism, my hormones. Like, I feel better than I have felt in 5 years, honestly, since we were training for our wedding. I also started to follow a very specific diet, not in a sense that I was like cutting calories or being restrictive in any way, but just that I was focusing on antioxidants, on certain foods that were going to support my gut, practices that were going to support my liver. It was really a very intentional way of healing, and it wasn't anything that was going to cause any kind of repercussions or damage to my body. A lot of the time, if you do like antibiotics, this and that, it can wreak havoc on certain other systems in the body. And I feel like the way that we tackled this, the way that I have healed, that this doctor has helped me to heal, has again completely changed my life, my energy, my body. My soul is back. Like, that is the only way to say it. I know it sounds so dramatic, and I know this is such a long video, but I am so passionate about helping people take their health back into their own hands because of this situation. Like, because of this journey I have been on, it rocked me. It ruined me. I was able to advocate for myself. I was able to listen to my body. I was able to provide for my body and really show up for it and give it a place to heal and get better, because my husband and I are going to get ready to have babies soon. And I knew that my body just would not carry a child with how it felt. I heard God say, like, wait, hold off. You need time to heal. And because of that, I took a deep dive into my health. I messaged this doctor. I set up those tests. I went on this healing journey, and I finally feel absolutely incredible. So I want to end this video by saying, if you're someone who feels like your body is trying to tell you something, listen to it. Please, I'm begging you, if you feel like your body is trying to communicate with you, it is. I want you to pay attention to how you feel, your symptoms, your energy, your skin, your mindset, your mood, your hormones. Like, pay attention to what your body is telling you, because it will tell you everything you need to know. It's your job to advocate for yourself. It's your job to stick up for yourself. It's your job to fight for your health and for your life. And honestly, that is the biggest lesson and the biggest takeaway I can give you here, is that you have to step up. You have to take matters into your own hands. You are capable of healing, but you have to take that first steps. I'm excited that I am recording this video, because I feel like it's kind of a moment for me where I feel like I'm back. I feel like my energy is back, my personality is back, and I'm so excited to be back here on YouTube sharing how I continue to heal holistically and feel good, look good, and live a healthy, holistic lifestyle. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. All details that you'll need to know are in the description box down below. Come hang on social media with me. If you love healthy, holistic living, I would love to have you over on Instagram, TikTok, wherever. I do have a program called The Glow Project, which is all about healthy, holistic healing and living, that I teach women how to basically get healthy and fit from home through healthy, holistic practices. So that'll be in the description box also. But thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe for more videos and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.